Hi there, I'm Ben Morton and welcome to the Leaders Kit Bag, your go-to podcast for practical leadership insights in just 6 minutes. In each episode, we tackle real challenges faced by leaders and managers, offering actionable tools and strategies you can take away and immediately apply. And because leadership doesn't happen in a studio, these episodes are mostly recorded outside on the move. They're raw, unscripted, and straight to the point. So, wherever you are, let's dive in and sharpen your leadership skills 6 minutes at a time. In today's episode of the Leaders Kit Bag, we are talking about SMART goals. We've all heard of them. Many of us claim to use them. And at the very same time, many of us don't actually use them correctly. And this is why in today's episode of the Leaders Kit Bag, I want to share with you the number one mistake that most leaders and managers make when setting goals using the SMART acronym and what to do about it. As I said, we've all heard of them, but are you actually using them correctly? It all goes pretty well with SMART goals until we get to the R of the acronym, and then it gets a little bit confusing. So let's start off with a very real example of a good SMART goal, the likes of which I often hear people creating towards the end of one of the leadership programs that I run. So here it is. By the end of quarter 3, I will delegate one significant project or task per month to a member of my team, ensuring that I brief them clearly, follow up, and provide feedback afterwards so that I can spend 4 hours on the key strategic projects that I'm also responsible for. That's a pretty good SMART goal. If we now deconstruct it, looking at what each part of the acronym stands for, we can start to understand why and overcome this trap that so many leaders and managers fall into. So the S in SMART stands for specific. Most of us get this right. We need to be really specific and clear about what it is we are trying to achieve. Okay? In the example I just shared, it is delegate one significant project or task per month. Very, very clear. The M in SMART goals is about it being measurable. There's so many phrases and cliches around this, what gets measured gets done, etc. But if we can't measure it, it's really hard to track our own progress even towards that goal. So the M is measurable, okay? And again, to the example I just shared, it's by the end of quarter 3, okay? And it's also so I can invest 4 hours in the more strategic projects that I'm responsible for. The A is achievable, right? There is nothing more demotivating than being given a goal or target that you've got no chance of achieving. I've been there, I've been on the receiving end of that, and it is massively demoralizing, demotivating, especially when you have a big chunk of performance-related pay set against that SMART goal. It just feels like you're being set up to fail. So it must be achievable. Again, to the example I just shared, that should be achievable because it is within that particular leader's circle of control. Then we get to the R, and this is where it gets confusing. Many people go, it's realistic. My answer to that is, how is realistic any different to achievable? It's not, right? The two words are synonyms. The R isn't realistic. The R in SMART goals is relevant. Is the goal relevant to the individual? Is it relevant to their overall objectives? Is it relevant to what the team is trying to achieve? Is it relevant to the individual's personal or professional development? In this case, going back to my example, yes, it absolutely is relevant. It's about their progression as a leader. Delegate more and be able to step up to the more strategic work. So the R is relevant. Okay, I'm going to say it again, relevant. And then finally, the T, everybody gets this bit right. The T stands for time bound. All great goals need a target or a deadline to work towards. Okay. In the example I gave you, we have got by the end of Q3. And there's the additional time bound element where we're saying one significant task or project a month and to give me 4 hours back to spend on the more strategic projects. So there you have it, the correct way to use SMART goals. They need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Before you go and do anything else, here is a challenge for you. Set yourself a SMART goal based on something you want to achieve linked to your personal or professional development. And if you want some additional support, making sure you follow through, let's go with some shared accountability and post your goal in the comments wherever you are watching or listening to this episode of the Leaders Kit Bag. That's it for today's episode. As always, look after yourself, look after those you've got the privilege and responsibility to lead. And if you need support with training, coaching, or speaking, you know where to find me. Until next time, lead on.